In today's video, as the title suggests, we're going to be breeding some shrimp in some bins. So on this channel, I love keeping things simple, like it's obviously what the channel's about. And a lot of people think that this hobby has to be expensive and that you have to buy like, certain tanks and certain things to do certain projects. And today we're going to bust some of those myths and we're going to do something I've wanted to do for a long time. So up the front here, I know this fish room is completely chockers full of stuff and it looks really cramped. But up the front of this room, we've got just enough space to start a new project. So you can see here, this morning I went to the hardware store and I picked these up. So these are just 2 bins. These are like 12 bucks each, I think, and they're 60 liters. What we're gonna be doing today is setting these up with some shrimp, and I'm gonna be running a few experiments here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna do crossbreeding in these. So I'm not trying to achieve anything, I'm just interested to see what kind of shrimp I get. We're going to be doing red and blue shrimp in one, and in this one we're going to be doing blue and yellow, so like Aussie colours or American colours. And I'm really interested to see what kind of colours we get. But to do this, you don't need any equipment, you don't need an air pump or anything. These shrimp are so easy to take care of, like you could literally put them in bins outside. Well, they're not going to be outside, they're going to be indoors, and they're going to breed and they're going to make so many shrimp it's not even funny. So to do this, all you're going to need is shrimp, and you're going to need some Java moss or some live plants, and you're going to need a bin, and that's it. So before we do anything with these bins, I'm going to give them a clean out because they've got heaps of factory sludge on them and we don't want that factory sludge in here. And then we're going to fill them up with some tap water. I'm going to add some Java moss, I'm going to add the shrimp, and then we're just going to wait. I'm going to do some update videos in a few months and we're going to see what kind of shrimp we get. But without any further ado, let me show you guys how to set this up. Now you can see we filled these both up with some water. So always add some tap water conditioner because otherwise you're gonna have some dead shrimp. It's always important to add that. So you can see they're just filled up. There's about, I'd say 50 liters of water in there. So quite a lot. What we're gonna do is we're gonna leave these overnight so that any of the chemicals like the chloramines and the chlorine will like all kind of dissipate a little bit. In the meantime, we can actually add some live plants. So to do this project, you're gonna need some live plants because it's gonna help turn this thing into an ecosystem. You might be able to get away without them, but I'd highly recommend just adding them. What we're going to be adding today is a little bit of Java moss to each of the tubs, and you can see this is about like a handful. What we're going to do is just throw that in there, and we're going to throw the other clump in here. And I'm interested to see at the end when we're like harvesting these shrimp, how much Java moss we've grown, because a little clump like that in my area will sell for about $4. So it could be a great way for you guys to make a little bit of extra money. But we'll leave these overnight and then we'll add some shrimp tomorrow. Okay, so it's now the next day and today is going to be the day where we're going to be adding our shrimp to these tubs. Now, if you look down here, you can see that our tubs have just been sitting overnight. There's not really any film or anything on the water, which is good to see. They're ready to have shrimp added to them. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to add a little touch to these tubs to make them look just a little bit more alive, because what we're going to see in these tubs, there's duckweed on the top of them right now. And the duckweed's just over the next like 6 months going to really spread across and we're not going to really see a lot. So what I want to try and do is add some plants coming out of the top of these bins to make them just look a little bit more interesting. So to do this, what I've got here is some pothos. So for anyone here who's on the channel who's like seen aquariums before, you'd know what this is. But pothos is just like a plant that a lot of people use in like their terrariums and stuff, and it really works well when you put the roots in water. So what we're going to do is tape these plants onto the sides of the bins by these stems, and we're going to put the roots in the water and we'll just see how much these grow. So we've got a marble one here. This is a marble pothos. I actually do culture quite a few of these in the fish room. And we've just got like a gold pothos here. So that's one thing we're going to quickly do. And the other thing too that I wanted to show you guys is because we're trying to do no water changes, the shrimp are going to need some calcium in the water. And to do this, we're going to add some coral. So I just get this from like the beach, but you could get this from like your aquarium store, just like some crushed coral. And I'm just going to add 2 pieces to each tank. And that should help to keep the shrimp molting properly and keep the KH in the water up and the GH up. So that's all that we need for that. What we're going to do is just tape these pothos on. So to do this, all I'm going to do is grab some electrical tape because it's black and it matches. Get the stem of our plant and just grab it like that. And then we're just gonna try and get it in the water. Like you can see the roots down here in the water. Can you see that? And then we're just gonna simply tape this on here. So there's probably better ways to do this. You could add like a cage or something, but I don't have that right now, and this is like the lowest cost method for doing these things. So we'll do it with our marble queen as well. And what this plant will also do is it'll help filter the water. These plants will help keep nitrates and ammonia down and keep this like an ecosystem. I'm sure someone's gonna have a problem with me doing this, but I really don't care because it should work. To match the other plant, we'll put it like this. See, the roots are in the water. Make sure the stem's not in the water because the stem's gonna start rotting if it's in water. But just get these roots in the water and then they'll start to spread out. So that actually looks kind of good already. Now what's gonna happen is we can go ahead and add our shrimp. So I've already caught out some. If you come over here, you can see we've caught out the blue shrimp. So you can see in here, we actually have a buried female. So right there, you can see that little buried female. And the way these shrimp breed is the females will hold the eggs for their entire pregnancy in their flaps behind them. That's probably not the right term, but you can see she's got some eggs in her little flaps there. They'll hold the eggs in there and then they'll hatch and then she'll fan them all out. We've definitely got a female in here, so these are the blue shrimp. And we're gonna be mixing those blue shrimp here with these red shrimp. These are just some red cherries. No buried females in here. These mostly look like males, to be honest. So I'm not too sure what the mix is gonna be, but we've got 10 of each. So we've got 10 red cherries, we've got 10 blue dreams. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna mix these two shrimp together, so you can see the blues and the reds are gonna go together. And then we're gonna do a little acclimation to make sure that they settle in. But look how cool that looks. All those blues and red color. So what we're gonna do to do this drip acclimation is we just need a little airline tube. I'll put the shrimp down here for a moment in time. We're gonna tie a little knot here. And then what we're gonna do is just run the line in here. We'll start the little siphon. And you can see that's gonna start dripping. So we're gonna let that drip and I'll slowly add heaps of water into the shrimp container and slowly acclimatize them to their new environment. Okay, so it's been a little bit now and these guys are ready to go. So you can see all the shrimp in there. So what I'm gonna do is simply pour all that water out. I might just leave about that much. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna slowly, you're not really gonna see much here, I'm just gonna slowly release these guys into their tub. Away they go. You don't really get to see a lot because they're so dark and the tubs are so black. I reckon the tub's gonna make them feel really comfortable though. So the other mix we were gonna do is the yellow shrimp mixed in with the blue shrimp. So you can see here all our little yellows. There's actually a buried female in here somewhere as well. She's got her eggs there. These guys aren't a crazy high quality yellow, but they're still pretty yellow. And I know a lot of people are gonna come and they're gonna go to me, well, mixing these shrimp, all you're gonna get is brown. And I'm really curious to see whether this is true. I actually don't think this will be true. My theory is with that shrimp go brown when you mix them, is that the shrimp breed and they create a bunch of different colors, but the colorful ones get eaten off by other fish in the tank. So you're only left with brown. I don't know. We also have more blues. You saw these guys before, so these are just some blue dream shrimp. So we'll go ahead and mix these guys. There we go. Look at that. What country color is that? I don't know. So we'll go ahead and acclimate these guys as well. Okay, so I've just acclimated these guys as well. So they're all ready to go. And we'll go ahead and add these guys in. And there we go. Okay, so you guys might also be wondering, Nick, what the heck are you gonna feed these guys? Well, to feed them, it's so easy. I'm literally gonna use cichlid pellets, but to start them off, I'm gonna add a pre-soaked Indian almond leaf. So you can get these online. I've pre-soaked it so it doesn't release like a mountain of tannins in this bucket. And also because then it's nice and soft, like it's just gonna tear easily. They'll eat that. And that'll probably last them about a week. So that's a really good food source there. And really quickly, you might also be wondering, what about heating these tubs? And the good thing about this fish room is it is heated. So these will be at about 23 degrees Celsius. For you guys, you might want to keep it inside or you might want to do this over the summer. It's up to you, but you're going to want them at about 22 to 23 degrees Celsius minimum. Probably don't go about 26 to 28 because that's going to be a little bit too hot and you won't have good breeding, but that 22 to 23 is perfect. Okay, so we've added the shrimp to the tubs. You can see there's no filtration. All we have in here is some plants filtering it. There's a bit of duckweed on the top here. Might actually transfer some of this duckweed over here. What'll happen is within a month, there'll probably be duckweed over the top of this whole entire thing. If we go underwater, you can actually see the shrimp, but I mean, we're not going to see a lot of stuff until the final harvest. So I'm going to keep you guys updated with this project. I'm guessing the pothos will grow like crazy, probably out the top here, and the Java moss should hopefully explode as well. I hope you guys took inspiration from this and could learn something from this and might want to try this yourself. This could be a great way to earn a little bit of extra money in the hobby by, using a $12 bin to make shrimp that you can sell to the shops. Just an idea, but okay, so it's now a month later and we're back at the shrimp tubs. So I've left these guys for a month now and some stuff has happened and I've got some updates to show you guys. So we've obviously set them all up and I've done nothing with these tubs. All I've done is feed them. I think I've been feeding them once every 2 or 3 days and I've just been feeding either an algae wafer or some pellets, and the shrimp have been doing really good. So I've had a look in the bottom of both tubs and we do have babies. So they have started to breed. Obviously we don't know what colours they're going to be yet because they all have to grow out, and we're going to leave these tubs for like 6 months and see what kind of fry we actually end up getting, or shrimplets I should say. We've had a lot more success in the blue and yellow tub than we have in the red and blue tub, and what's happened is I've actually lost quite a few red cherry shrimp. So I did get the red cherry shrimp from the local breeder, and I think that I lost quite a few of them during the acclimation process. So when I got them, they weren't the best quality ones. I just wanted to get them to make the videos, so I lost quite a few of them. I didn't notice any blue shrimp that were dead, so I definitely think that the red shrimp were the only ones that died. As for the blue and yellows, I didn't notice any of them die. We've just got babies in there and they're doing really fantastic and they're all breeding. Besides losing a few red shrimp, everything went perfectly. I did have to replace this pothos after a few days. I think when I transplanted it, I snapped the taproot. So I had to put a new plant here, but you can see it's grown quite a few new fresh leaves. So you can see there's 2 of them here. And as for our marble queen pothos, we've also got a fresh leaf in there and all the roots have settled in well. So all I'm going to do from here is keep you guys updated with the project, let you guys know what's happening with it. If we start getting any different colours and things like that, I'm going to continue to feed them. And as the water continues to evaporate, I'm just going to top it up. Other than that, if you look inside the tubs, we have heaps of shrimp and we've got shrimp babies and everything seems to be working pretty well. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. And yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of colours we get out of these tubs.